The GameCube, one of the best consoles out there, loved by many with an impressive library of games, and one of those games happens to be Smash Brothers. Released in 2001 for the GameCube, Super Smash Bros. Melee would be seen as the best in the franchise. Tight controls, amazing graphics that still hold up, and a cast of characters that are, well, interesting. I feel as if I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Now, as much as I do want to jump into all of that, there are other things I feel like I should mention first, like the new intro. This beats the first game in the sense that it's more cinematic and flows wildly better than the N64 one. While no longer toys, these characters are now trophies, a series staple that continues to this day. It's a very nice start to the game, setting all kinds of vibes until the announcer screams out those oh so lovely words.
Super Smash Brothers Melee!
And that one was sexier than the last one. But that's not the only thing that was changed, because the menus were updated as well. The old one had this street vibe to it, while these have more of a techno style, and it works pretty well. Everything is in the right spots with easy navigation. We still have all the same choices with trophy viewing now added to the mix, but we also got new stuff within each category. 1P game is now turned into classic mode, and it's essentially the same thing with some tweaks added to it. New to 1P mode is the adventure mode, which I'll get back to later. Other modes include home run batting, where you rack up percentages on the sandbag to see how far you can hit him. There's multi-man melee, see how long you can last, and an onslaught of wired clones. There's event mode, where you are given specific challenges to try and beat. Special melee, where you can set some wacky rules for your match. Custom rules, which is self-explanatory, and when you unlock all the characters, all-star mode, where you verse every character on one health bar and one life. It's pretty heavy shit. Of course, the old versus mode is there too, with other stuff I'll get to later. It's clear that there's a lot of content packed within this small disc, but with new modes also comes with new characters and stages. Everyone returns from 64 here, along with some new people. And you bet your ass I'm naming them all in one take. You got Bowser, Peach, Ice Climbers, Mewtwo, Zelda and Sheik, Mr. Game & Watch, Pikachu, Roy, Falco, Ganondorf, Young Link, and Dr. Mario. We got a lot of new people here, but you might have noticed something a little off with the last characters shown. Melee was the first to introduce quote-unquote clone characters into the series. These are basically characters that share a moveset with their original characters, but offer a cosmetic difference. There are some obvious clones, like Dr. Mario is a clone of Mario, Pikachu is Pikachu's, Roy for Marth, and Young Link for Link, but others are a bit more complicated. For instance, Ganondorf is a clone of Captain Falcon due to time restraints, and Falco is one of Fox. Some people say that these clone characters took the spots of potential newcomers, but it has been stated that these characters were only put in to play as your favorite fighter with a twist. For example, Dr. Mario's properties are a little bit different from Mario, making it so he does play a tiny bit differently. But enough of the characters. What has returned from the 64 game? As mentioned earlier, 1P game has turned into classic mode and has been tweaked. While who you fight is still kind of set, the order you fight them in is not, leaving room for more replayability and more fun. When you reach Master Hand, you have a chance of also fighting his little companion, Crazy Hand. You do this by knocking out half of Master Hand's health within 1 minute. This makes the battle a little bit harder, and I have yet to accomplish it. Also stated earlier is Training Mode, and Target Tests are back. Training Mode gives you more options to mess around with, while Target Test is now more in depth. Each character has their own Target Test stage, allowing for the player to get better with that character. It's all very fun and polished, no mode feels rushed, and that includes the new Adventure Mode I stated earlier. This mode has the player go through each respective franchise's world with stages and enemies based on that series. I will say, it is kind of weird seeing Link in a Mario setting and then beating the shit out of Peach. It is more than just fighting characters though, and I like that a lot. At the end of it, you fight Bowser, and if you beat the mode within 18 minutes or less, you get to fight Bowser on steroids. It is truly terrifying. The drug use, not Bowser. But with that, I think it's safe to say that Melee is a great sequel to Smash Brothers. A lot was improved, including the graphics and physics. The game looks beautiful, and the pace of this game is the equivalent to cocaine on crack. But this also allows for exploits within the game. You didn't think I would talk about Melee and not mention the competitive scene. Man, so many people still play this game to this day and spend their lives trying to master the games for tournaments and competitive matches. What makes Melee such a fun game to get competitive with is the exploits used for an advantage. I'll make a rundown on some of the things that you can do to start playing competitively. Dash dancing is swiftly moving left or right while dashing. This allows for spacing, faking out, and even putting an opponent off guard. While performing an attack in the air, you can reduce the amount of recovery by pressing the shield button for a split second before you hit the ground. The final thing I'll go over is wave dashing. This is when you dodge towards the ground, providing a slide in which you can follow up with a smash attack. This is mostly used for keeping a character facing one way or for keeping control space. It's also one of the more harder techniques to get down. And yes, I know that's not all the things I could have said, but if I were to list everything, this video would be over an hour long. I just wanted to state the things that I knew in hopes of getting you interested in what the competitive scene has. Melee is such a wicked and cool game that if you want to do this, it gives you a new way to play an old game. Melee will forever be seen as great in the eyes of fans because of all the polish and hard work that went into it. What was first a silly crossover game became something so much more serious with Melee. It's nice to look at. I wasn't really fond of Melee before this video, but playing it again and doing the research had me appreciate the amount of work and detail that was put into it. And that is another one down. A great game in my opinion. I enjoyed it far more than the last one, and so I think it's safe to say that this is a great sequel and that it did its job right. But with a new console comes a new Smash game, so next week I'll be looking at Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Oh, wish me luck.